Hi everyone, welcome to today's video. Today we're going to learn all about the life of Donald Trump in a simple and easy way. This will be great practice for your English. So, let's get started. Donald Trump was born on June 14th, 1946, in a place called Queens, which is a part of New York City. His full name is Donald John Trump. He grew up in a big family. His dad's name was Fred Trump, and he was a very successful businessman who built houses in New York. Donald's mom's name was Mary Trump. She was from Scotland, a country far away across the ocean. Donald had four siblings, which means he had brothers and sisters. He was the fourth child in the family. His siblings were named Mary Ann, Fred Jr., Elizabeth, and Robert. Since his family was quite wealthy, he had a comfortable life, but he was also taught to work hard. When Donald was young, he went to Q4 school. But later, his dad thought it would be a good idea for him to go to a school that could teach him more discipline, which means learning to follow rules and be strong. So he sent Donald to a place called the New York Military Academy. This was a special school where students wore uniforms and had a strict routine, kind of like what soldiers do. After that, Donald Trump went to Fordham University in New York, but after 2 years, he transferred to a different school called the Wharton School of the University of Pennsylvania. This is a very famous school for studying business. In 1968, he graduated with a degree in economics, which is a subject where you learn about money and business. Once Donald finished school, he started working for his father's business, which was called the Trump Organization. His job was to help run the business and find ways to make it grow. His father, Fred, had already made a lot of money by building homes. So Donald used that money to try and make the business even bigger. In the 1970s, Donald started working on his first big project, which was a hotel called the Commodore Hotel in New York City. The hotel wasn't doing very well, so Donald made plans to fix it up and make it look much better. After the work was done, the hotel was renamed the Grand Hyatt Hotel, and it became very popular. This project helped make Donald famous as a businessman in New York. After that, in the 1980s, Donald started working on many new projects. One of the most famous things he built was Trump Tower, a very tall skyscraper in New York City. Trump Tower is a big building with offices and fancy apartments, and it quickly became one of the most famous buildings in the world. Donald also bought a lot of casinos in a place called Atlantic City, where people go to play games and try to win money. At this time, Donald Trump was becoming very popular, not just for his business, but also for his style. He was often on TV and in magazines, where people saw him as a rich, powerful person who had a big personality. He even became famous for saying, "You're fired," on a TV show he started hosting in 2004 called The Apprentice, where people would compete in business tasks. Donald Trump's life has not only been about business, he also has a big family of his own. He has been married 3 times. His first wife was Ivana Trump, whom he married in 1977. Ivana was from a country called Czechoslovakia, which is now called the Czech Republic. She used to be a model and helped Donald with his business. Together, they had 3 children. Their first child, Donald Trump Jr., was born in 1977. Their second child, Ivanka Trump, was born in 1981, and their third child, Eric Trump, was born in 1981-1984. However, after 15 years, Donald and Ivana divorced in 1992. Even though they were no longer married, they stayed close for the sake of their children. A year later, in 1993, Donald married Marla Maples, who was an actress. Donald and Marla had one daughter together, named Tiffany Trump, who was born in the same year they got married. But their marriage didn't last very long, and they divorced in 1999. After that, in 2005, Donald married Melania Trump, who was a model from a country called Slovenia. Melania is Donald's third wife, and together they have one son named Barron Trump, who was born in 2006. Donald Trump now has 5 children in total, and he is also a grandfather because his older children have kids of their own. He loves spending time with his big family whenever he can. After finishing school and joining his father's business, Donald Trump continued to work hard to make his business bigger and more successful. In the 1970s, he took on big building projects like the Commodore Hotel. Then in 1983, he built the famous Trump Tower in New York City, which became one of his biggest achievements. Trump Tower helped make Donald even more popular, as people could see his name in big letters on the building. This was just the beginning of many famous buildings that would have his name on them. In the 1980s, Donald also bought casinos and hotels in Atlantic City. One of the biggest casinos he bought was called the Trump Taj Mahal. At the time, it was the largest casino in the world, but running such a big casino was very challenging, and Donald faced some tough times with money. Even though his business was struggling, Donald kept working hard to keep everything going. In the 1990s, he decided he wanted people to know his name all over, so he started appearing on TV and in magazines. His big personality made him a popular figure, and people saw him as a rich and powerful businessman. Donald Trump's company, the Trump Organization, grew over the years and included many different businesses like hotels, casinos, and golf courses. He even opened golf courses in different countries, which became very popular with people who love to play golf. Buildings with his name, like Trump Towers, were known around the world and became symbols of his success. However, in the 1990s, Donald faced some financial challenges when some of his casinos and hotels were not doing well. At one point, he owed a lot of money to banks, but he didn't give up. He worked hard to solve the problems and make his business strong again. As Donald Trump became more successful, he also started talking about politics, which is the work of running the country. In 2015, Donald made a big decision to run for president of the United States. Many people were surprised because he had never been in politics before. But Donald was confident and believed his experience in business would help him lead the country. During his campaign, he promised to make America great again, create more jobs, and protect the country's borders. In 2016, Donald Trump ran against Hillary Clinton, who had worked in the government for many years. Many people thought she would win, but Donald won the election and became the 45th president of the United States. He served as president from January 20th, 2017 to January 20th, 2021. During his time as president, Donald focused on making the economy stronger by creating jobs, protecting the country's borders by building a wall, and making deals with other countries. In 2020, Donald Trump ran for president again, this time against Joe Biden. Even though Donald worked hard, Joe Biden won the election. Some people thought the election was unfair, but there was no proof of any problems. On January 6, 2021, some of Donald's supporters went to the Capitol building in Washington, D.C., to try to stop Congress from counting the votes. It was a very serious and difficult time for the country. After this, Donald Trump left the White House and returned to his business life. Today, Donald Trump still owns many buildings, golf courses, and hotels, and he continues to be very popular with many people. He has even talked about running for president again in 2024. Donald Trump's life has been full of ups and downs, but he has always tried to reach his goals. From a businessman to a TV star, and even the president, Donald Trump's story shows that with hard work and confidence, you can make big things happen. No matter what people think of him, he is always in the news, and his story is one that people will talk about for a long time. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed learning about Donald Trump's life, and don't forget to subscribe for more interesting videos.